So all this therapy talking, psychology, they're trying to get you to transcend the mind, but they're not letting you transcend the mind.
That's not the type of therapy I do.
No, but any therapy ultimately is going through in a spin. You are still encased with me and the mind, the final layer.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Golden Girl. I'm super excited about today's episode. We have an amazing guest all the way from India with us. Apurve, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Maybe we could start off. You could tell us a little bit about you, what you do.
Sure. So I do nothing. I get done. And most times I'm being done well. So I'm grateful for being done.
So my experience of you so far is that you are a very gifted healer and you have lots of other endeavors that you're really passionate about.
Yeah, thank you. And my experience with you thus far is you're a very gifted healer and you are obviously tasked with healing yourself just like I am. And in doing so, we're taking our whole tribe with us. We're taking everyone into healing. And ultimately, I don't think I'm the healer or the doer because, I don't even breathe on my own. You don't even breathe on your own. This thing making a seed into a flower is growing us, is taking care of us. And that is what's healing us. And the best that you and I as healers can do is help people remove the blocks that are coming in on their healing. And we can do it with a 5-body model because we are spirit, soul, mind, the 2 sections of mind, sense mind and buddhi, which is taking us towards spirit and soul, and sense mind, which is bringing us to this earth. We are emotion, we are energy field, we are physicality.
That was 5?
Yeah, that's 5, the 5 bodies. Many ways of saying it: physical body, etheric body, astral body, causal body, right? And then 5 elements: the earth, physical body; water, the emotional body; fire, the mental body; air, spirit, soul; ether, spirit. So, yeah. So what as healers, that's healing us, and we're finding it, letting it heal us, just like you're letting it heal you. And now we're bringing it out to the world. And the inspiration, I didn't tell you about it. So driving here like a Bombay style because of the traffic. Like seriously, I cut so many lanes, but don't tell anyone. And let's make a podcast about healing today. The ultimate goal of this podcast is not, maybe it's your podcast, so don't let me hijack it. But we'll make a podcast about healing. We will take it to everyone watching should have an experience that is healing.
I love that.
I love that too.
Yes.
Okay.
And this podcast is about healing.
Yes.
In all forms. So
and it is now a podcast that heals, not just a podcast that is about.
Yeah.
Great.
I think that's beautiful. So I'm ready.
Come on, what's up?
Do it.
Should I sing for you?
If you would like to.
No. But I love mantras, as you know. Tayata om, bekanze, maha bekanze, rasa samu, gate soha.
What does that mean?
That's the medicine Buddha mantra.
Okay. Do you sing that mantra at a certain time when you're feeling a certain way?
No, invoking the medicine. In India, they call him Dhanvantri, the god of Ayurveda.
Okay.
I read your questions coming in just because I passed them. So I was like, might as well know what she's doing. Not to be snoopy, but it was right there.
Well, I don't like to have a list of questions prepared that I have to ask a guest because I like to have an organic flow, and you and I are able to just talk about everything. But I also wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about your company.
I don't think it's a company. I think you're my company right now. And I think it's a mission. And the mission came from having companies that did well, but realizing that making $1 out of 50 cents is still not a complete life. It is a mission that came from seeing my own family suffer in or seeing everyone, friends, family, friends, parents, myself suffer in a system of medicine that is incomplete, right? And bringing the possibilities of healing into our lives in every moment. Because to me, that is the highest life lived, right? Because in healing, you'll find all union and all God and all religion. Because religion also is just rejoined with what's keeping us alive. So that's it. I'm in good company with you, and we have similar intentions to heal.
We do.
Yeah. And that's how I now have been phrasing all my relationships. It's like not my friend or parent or daughter or whatever, none of that. My healer. So I meet you, you're my healer. And we're here to heal together. And my daughter said, what does that mean? I said, we only do things that are healing to each other and don't do things that are not healing. And it changes everything.
How has that shift changed your relationships with them, with your family?
2-3 shifts have happened. So one shift is when you have that, all these kinds of issues that we're holding on to the mind, judgments, expectations. Now your expectation is to heal. How you'll handle every moment with them will change because you won't come from a place of reaction. You'll come from an intention of healing. And then when you point your sails in life in the right directions, it's quite effortless, right? As what I've seen with work, with play, let's just have the right intentions and life is carrying us. We can't stop breathing on our own. We can't start breathing if the breath stops. So let it flow. And so that's been nice. And I think healing relationships is huge because we're not alive without the morphic field. You cannot fake it in the world of energy and emotion. You can harbor, you think you can harbor hate and still conduct meditation classes. No, ultimately you're shortchanging yourself, you're shortchanging the universe, and you're shortchanging your relationships. And that healing comes from all aspects, like our aspect as with the 5 bodies, the 7 chakras, all those areas. Healing our relationship with the earth and survival, healing our relationship with sexuality, which is such a big one now. Because we've been taught after a certain point in history, it's all a sin. We're living in sin. We're born out of sin. And then the guilt, shame, anger that we carry with that, how suppressing it leads to it running out of control. How the priest made the pornographer. How so many kids grow up without love from both parents because of the judgments around sexuality. Then healing our own fire, how to have the right amount of ambition, how to go from unconscious to conscious emotion, from the solar plexus to the heart, how to allow, see, one very beautiful thing we'll get into in a second, how to create correctly with the ether that you bend, right? How we speak, our words, we're bending space.
Can you say more about that? How words are bending space?
So that's what's happening. Sound is operating in space. And the difference between music and noise, harmony and disharmony, is a mathematical thing. It's mathematics, right? And so sound bends space. And in our chakras, there's 7 chakras. But
Can you see what they are, too?
Yeah, so crown, everyone knows it.
I don't think everyone knows that.
Everybody knows. Everybody came from it. So crown is Sahasrara, right? Ajna, the third eye, they all have functions. So the crown is where we receive God. Okay? Ajna is where we understand and contemplate God and we have buddhi, which is intellect, right? The Buddha is one who crossed from the sense mind with the indriyas Okay, so the Ajna is the second chakra, the sixth. I'm reading them. 7, 6, 5 is throat, ether. These two, this area, no elements. Elements begin here. Ether, space, we're bending it when I'm talking. Right? Creation. Creation happens two ways, with your eggs and sperm or with your sound. The heart, air, love, conscious emotion. Solar plexus is unconscious emotion, anger, fear, all of that lies here. And then procreative energy in the second chakra below the belly, and then connection with earth. And what I was getting at is they're 7, but they're actually pairs of two possibilities in duality, because we're living in duality. Form and emptiness are not one anymore. They are one, but emptiness is form and form is emptiness. The one became two. The earth was created, Big Bang. And so, crown, you could be in heaven, but you also got to be in earth. And your third eye knows how to balance between the two. So when you meditate on them, you connect. You connect the crown to the base to the third eye. That's your first triangle in an inner Merkaba, right?
In what?
Inner Merkaba. It's an inner sacred geometry of triangles. Crown, base, third eye. Procreative energy, creative energy, third eye. The second triangle, because you know how to balance between these two. This is a conflict you see a lot. I am creating so much from here, I'm not creating from here, or the other way around. I had kids, I created from here, I'm not able to create from here. Okay? Unconscious emotion, conscious emotion. So there's so many now who sense their energy field, able to see so much about the etheric body, but they still drown in unconscious emotion. Right? They're not able to shift it to conscious emotion. The third eye knows how to balance that. With our own awareness, we can balance that. The way to balance that is to sense, to feel your emotion, but see how far you are from the emotion. You're the one feeling the emotion, right? From this distance, you can invoke any emotion.
I think that this was something that last time we spoke really helped me put this into perspective for myself. I had a hard time wrapping my head around the concept of the distance from the emotion until you said, look at your hand. Are you your hand? No.
You're the one? Who are you?
I'm the one looking at the hand.
You're the one looking at the hand. Look at the chair. You're the one looking at the chair. Subject, object. Subject.
And then you said, now feel sadness. Are you the sadness, or are you the one feeling the sadness? That helped me kind of conceptualize the distance from it.
It is the distance. That exactly. You're so precise. So we are the one. If you were to forget all the hulu bulu on the internet and the million books written, you're here now, and you observe this. You don't believe anything, but you observe. You're the witness that is witnessing this chair. No doubt. You're the witness looking at this hand. You're the one sensing the energy field. Sense your energy as it's entering your skin. You're sensing it. Great. You're the one feeling the emotion. See how far we are from the emotion. Right? From here we invoke any emotion. We want to invoke happiness, we invoke it. You fill every cell with it. You smile, you send it down. Right? You bathe in it. You're the one witnessing the mind, the thoughts. Now here is very interesting, because any thought is anchored around the idea of me, my past, my future, my wealth, my poverty, my disease, my ease. It needs that anchor. Otherwise, there's nothing to anchor onto. So the mind is dancing around the stripper pole of I. I think if I say that, it's something easy to remember, right?
And when you say I, you mean like the self.
The self, but which is also an incorrect understanding of self. Totally incorrect. Because the I am is certain. The I am this, the I am that will never be certain. Okay? The I am a woman, the I am a man, I am a vegan. It's not certain. I'll tell you why. Because it's thoughts, memories, emotions, perceptions, associations. But if you don't use these things, because I is none of these things, I is witnessing all these things.
Because that's the distance from it that you were talking about.
Yeah, it's subject-object. The chair is close or chair is far. That is also perception, association, right?
So would it be a more correct statement to say, my perception is that I'm a woman? Is that kind of what you mean by the I am statements?
In the sense that, like, I am the witness. The I am is certain. I am the one watching all this. I am the one watching the hand, right? But the perception includes that this is called a hand and an associate. That's the association. That's the perception. That's what, it's a fucking castle built on a house of cards. But when you're witnessing the mind. You're witnessing how the mind goes in the past or the future around me and I, right? You witness how actually Elvis has left the building. There's those ideas of personality, me, mine, whatever. Those are, in a sense, illusions, right? And you're witnessing. Then you're witnessing that here in this moment, there is so much bliss, so much joy, so much opportunity, so much creativity, which you could have blocked off because you were sitting here and thinking about day after tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
You cannot even say be in the moment. Well, you can, but by the time you're done saying be in the moment is gone, right?
Yeah.
So what we are saying is, don't let the experiential reality get clouded by your psychological reality.
This has been a huge, huge part of my personal healing journey for several reasons. One of the things you mentioned was the unconscious emotions and feeling unconscious emotions. And that was something that I was not allowing myself to feel. So I had a lot of emotions that I refused to acknowledge or feel. And then when I finally started to allow myself to feel them through a lot of trauma therapy, I felt the need to name them in order to give myself permission to feel them. And I knew that the next level of that, I knew that, like, okay, this is level 1, is allowing myself to feel these emotions that I'm naming. And I knew the next step above that for my personal healing journey would be to allow myself to feel things that I had no name for.
Okay.
And to just sit in the feeling without having to describe it and without having to say what it was. And I think that whole process has led me to question all of the parts of my identity that I don't need to hold on to either. Why do I have to name an emotion to feel it? Why do I have to define myself to just be who I am? I guess that's also an I am statement, but
exactly. And
learning to let go of the identity has been challenging for me.
That's the ultimate step. That's the most beautiful step. If you take it first, you don't even have to take the other steps. It's the total step. It's the pathless path. There's no distance between me and I. And like you said, now it's led you went through all this emotional journey, you named them, then you said, why the hell I need to name them? And now you realize that, damn, they're not even me. They're like on that side. They're not even mine.
Yeah.
They're not mine.
Yeah.
Because the very idea of mine was flawed.
Exactly.
Exactly. Beautiful. And then the way out of the mind is out of the mind.
Say more about that.
So all this therapy talking, psychology. They're trying to get you to transcend the mind, but they're not letting you transcend the mind. They're letting you in a laundry spin cycle of the mind. That's what's going on. I mean, you're talking and talking. It's that simple. You slice through. We're going like this over there. My emotions, my thoughts, changing my thoughts, positive thoughts, negative. You see?
Oh, that's not the type of therapy I do.
No, but any therapy ultimately is going through in a spin of you are still encased with me in mind. And the mind, the ultimate, the final layer on the jail cell of the mind, for lack of a better word, or the monkey of the mind, or whatever you want to call it, the layer, the final coating is identity. And if life is a movie, if this is an act, if this is a field of creativity, we are much better actors in the movie when we realize we don't have a personality. If you don't have a personality, you can be anything. You can be anything. But if you have a personality, you're only going to act one way. And you'll have to wait for those roles to come out. So to be empty, to be adaptable, to take on new tasks with emptiness.
I think a lot of people hold on to identity because they're scared of what will happen when they let go. And in my experience, letting go of identity is extremely liberating and freeing. It gives you opportunity to just be.
To flow, exactly. And not only that, like the mind has so many beautiful ways of tricking you. Like like there's a stage in meditation when the mind is dissolving, it'll make you believe that the mosquitoes are biting your ass. You're getting bit, something's happening, spiders are crawling on me. It'll come at the end with something that you feel that you must pay attention to, just so that it keeps you under it. But beyond identity is a lot of fun. Looking in your eyes with eyes that are not mine anymore. Your beauty blooms as I let go. Beyond judgments and fantasies, this here is our reality. See, and when you look with eyes that are not yours, the person changes. How they seem, how they look changes. Because you let go. You let go. You let go of your agendas. So that's another thing. We were talking about relationships. Most people enter relationships, any kind of relationship, with an agenda. Like, that is fine. It can be the simplest thing. I'm going in to order my McDonald's. That's the agenda. I'm going to sell you our product. That's the agenda. I want you to sign up for our class. That's the agenda, right? Those are all agendas. And those agendas also come from looking in people's eyes with what you're looking for or what you think you need.
I don't like the experience of looking into your eyes without my own eyes because it feels so disconnected, and connection is so important to me. When I'm looking through my eyes, I see someone who's knowledgeable and I feel caring and I feel connection.
Yeah.
But when I try to distance myself from that and look through eyes that are not my own eyes, it feels
well, let's just
kind of cold.
Let's try it again. Let's see if it gets warm.
Well, how is it supposed to feel?
It's not supposed to feel anyway. I don't know. I never tried it. Let's try. And for each, I'm sure it also depends on whose eyes you're looking into.
Well, but theoretically it wouldn't, right?
There's a lot going on. It does, because still people will invoke different things from you, I'm sure.
But it shouldn't if it's not me, right? How could it invoke something in me if it's not me?
It's still life in movement.
Okay.
It's still life, right?
Okay. I'm someone who always wants to understand, so I appreciate you.
And when you'll truly understand?
When you stop trying.
When you let go, you'll understand. The Tao that is cannot be spoken. With our mind, the universe is one. With our mind, we make two. From two, you get 2 billion, trillion, gazillion. Okay.
What do you mean from your mind you make two?
You create with the whole process of duality is coming from the mind. One example, your skin, is it joining you? Is it dividing you? Is it joining you to the universe, our skin? Is it dividing us from the universe?
Oh God, I don't know.
Experience it. Is your skin joining you or dividing you? And can it do one without doing the other?
It's both.
Yes, exactly. And it cannot do one. It cannot join you till it's dividing you. It's not dividing you till it's joining you.
Mm.
So the whole duality of that comes from the mind. And that's a beautiful part of healing too, is knowing that your skin is neither joining nor dividing. It is. Any more questions? Ask some serious questions.
You have a serious question?
I have no questions.
Oh.
I know that questions will not cease, so I dissolve the doubter. And then,
Say that again?
I'll say it in Spanish. En alma no preguntar. The soul has no questions.
The soul has no questions.
No.
My instinct is to ask, well, why not? But that's a question. So what does that say about me? Which is another question.
Now you got me. Okay. So what should we do?
I think so. You had an idea as you were driving over here that you wanted to make this a healing session for anyone listening.
Didn't it become that already? I thought already we healed in talking and everything we did.
What was that?
We already did heal.
Oh, this is it?
Yeah, but we can do it again.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Let's sum it up in a succinct meditation, and then you can actually chop that with your great editing skills and make short bursts that'll send people back to who they are. You guide me. I'll just say the words, okay? Put your feet down. Or do like this, right on top of left, right hand and left. Okay? If you don't use your thoughts, memories, let your eyes closed before doing this, but just do it. If we don't use our thoughts, memories, emotions, perceptions, and associations, is there a body, no body, or neither? If we don't use our thoughts, memories, emotions, perceptions, and associations, are you a man, a woman, or neither? If we don't use our thoughts, memories, emotions, perceptions, and associations, is there such a thing as consciousness? No consciousness. Does it even matter? Let's bring our awareness to the breath. Without trying to alter the breath, witness it. Simply witness how it comes in on its own, how it goes out. Thank the breath, because you know how it is. No breath, no nada. So thank the breath. Witness how it comes in, witness how it goes out. Sit in yourself, sit in the very center. Witness the breath. Bring your awareness to the crown. Receive all the lights of all the heavens and all the gods and all the goddesses, whatever name you chose to give or not give. You just receive the light from your crown. Be thankful for it. dissipate into your entire body. And then go to Muladhara, the chakra between your legs, and receive the earth. Be thankful for it. Receive the heavens, receive the earth. Crown chakra, base chakra. And then connect it into a triangle in the third eye. Trusting in our intellect. Trusting in our nobility, our divinity. Connect. Crown, receiving heaven. Muladhara, receiving earth. Connecting with the third eye. Now go to the second center, 2 centimeters below the belly button. Connected to water. Connected to all the oceans. Connected to flow. Connected to let go. Allow it to let go. Accepting all the pain and shame and understanding that you're transcending from the rip currents of the emotion into the vastness of the sea and the sky. Once the sea is open like that, you go to the throat, ether, the sky, and from the sky you connect to the third eye. Second chakra, triangle, third eye. Again, grateful for our own sexual nectars. Grateful for the ability to bend space like this. Grateful for the sky which is supposedly above us. Grateful for the sky which is within us. Then go to the third chakra. Okay. The third chakra, unconscious emotion. Deep amount of compassion for all those emotions that you have believed were yours. To the heart, where that very compassion is coming from. Not just for yourself, but for the whole universe. All life. To the third eye. We made 3 triangles. Within them we sit like Jedis. So complete. All that we're looking from outside, running around with our mouth open in the rain, is inside. So we're drinking those nectars. Right? And yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you wanted to talk about work also a little bit, so I can tell you about the work that I don't do, the work that is done.
You don't have to.
Well, might as well, man. Come on, what kind of...
I think it would be cool if you could talk about... Can you talk about the type of healing that you did for me yesterday?
Yeah, that's so... so basically what we have is we have a collective. And a collective that is a healing collective, which is based on certain basic principles. One is you weave totality out of modality, and you serve it in a measurable way to the likes of Becca. And those modalities are beautiful because every system has strengths. You learn those strengths and you work. Yesterday we worked on 2 very magical, powerful ways. So one, what we did was we used lasers to bring balance in your light and sound bodies. Tuning. Very specific. Every little inch of your brain, every little inch of your spine has a different color and light frequency, a different sound frequency. There's 7 notes, but there's 7 octaves, 49. 7 colors mixing into 7 other colors. What seems like a physical thing is on a more subtle layer of sound and light aberration. So we settle that. And the other thing we do so is, let's say, there's enough healing in every moment, right? But there are certain archetypes of what our soul knows, the software of life, that don't manifest correctly in this entropic body mind.
Why would that be?
Because for one, there is birth, there's proton, neutron, electron. There is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. So you have birth, you have balance, and you have death. And we're lying in the cross of those. Right now, as much as we're living, we're dying. As much, and when you're being born, your death is initiated. When you die, your birth is initiated. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we're lying in this cross, and in that cross there is something, physics concept of entropy, death. So your soul, the spirit never dies. Sanskrit shloka for that is Amritasya Putraha. We are the children of immortality. Okay? That immortality knows perfect function. Right? That immortality can have spins that are supposedly not ideal. But as you've said on your podcast, you're grateful for all the pain because in it you find your next spiral and your next spiral. That's what we're doing. And hopefully this one podcast will help people realize that that next spiral is right here. It's not going to happen 9 years from now when it'll happen then too, but even then when it happens, it'll be now, right? So do it now. Do this ultimate. What is the actor that we're putting on this earth? What is the vibration that we are feeling and emitting, right? In every moment, are we in dis-ease or are we at ease? How far does our ease go? Does it go from every cell in my body back to the creator that is creating it as we speak? Yes. And that is something that you don't need. There is no distance. Don't fool yourself that you need to take another course or wait another year or wait another moment. It's here.
I think that's a really powerful statement. I am somebody who acts as soon as I have the feeling or the urge to do something. I do not wait around and wait for the perfect moment. I take advantage of it right then. But I do struggle with the concept of ease versus dis-ease. Given the state of things, I have to balance honoring how I feel and also...
How are you feeling? Aren't you feeling juicy and bright?
I do, yeah.
You're feeling it.
But the duality, I also feel.
Well, it's a choice. Just like how your emotion is a choice, your physicality is a choice.
You believe emotion is a choice?
You said it yourself. You said from that distance, you said it today. I could bring up pain. I could bring up sorrow. Mm-hmm. So it's a choice. It's a question of where you're operating from. Are you under the blanket of the emotion, letting it, that's unconscious? Or are you conscious and knowing you're so far from it? And from here, you're selecting this. Like right now, the way I'm feeling, and I believe you're feeling, and everyone else watching us, if they've taken the journey in themselves, they're feeling bliss. That bliss was not a freaking, yoga retreat away. It's not an asana away. It's here. Mm-hmm. And it's an invocation, and it's handling it. And it's a question of really handling it from beyond the personality. Because sometimes, what was that we came up with yesterday? The walls we build for, you said, and I said, you said.
The walls that we build to protect ourselves become our own imprisonment. That was what you said last night.
That's what you said now.
Go ahead and say it. I want to give you a nice soundbite of your own wisdom.
Okay, you gave it to me. I just took it in. The walls we built for protection become our imprisonment.
Yeah. When you said that, it was really powerful because my whole journey this last year has been taking all of those walls down. And it has been liberating. It does feel like I'm freeing myself from my own imprisonment.
Yeah, I think we broke free from jail. Right?
Yeah.
So now that's the new reality.
Yeah, and I want to give other people permission to remove the walls that they have up inside themselves because it can feel so scary. A lot of people might not realize that they're allowed to just let go of those things.
Why do those people need your permission, firstly?
They don't need my permission. I want to remind them that they can give themselves permission.
Exactly. Yeah, they have that option.
Mm-hmm.
Because exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with the lasers and the frequencies.
So the lasers and the discs are they're reminding the body of what the soul knows. Just like you fix your hair in the mirror, you're learning progesterone again. It's showing me that you need progesterone again, or maybe not. It is also very often to do with relationships, like your relationship with your mama or whatever. And I'm not going to make any comment on that because honestly, it's not something you even need to bring up. It's cellular comprehension. I could sit, that's why you said therapy and that bit we spoke about. We could sit and talk about this for the next year, right? But if your ovaries or your pancreas or your thyroid take its archetypical vibration and get back past any of it and understand it, the talk doesn't get there as easily as the discs do.
And the discs are they communicating with the cells or they're altering the cellular frequency?
No, so they don't have any energy. They are your soul reflecting on your body. Your cells are looking in the mirror and saying, oh, this is what progesterone is, and look what you've been doing. And they're picking it up, and it's a process called a wormhole. It's a shortcut through space and time where this was here in terms of the cross of life and death has gone back here. And it is simple. It's like change is happening. You're fixing your hair, you're fixing your cells. It's Casimir effect. It's how within a vacuum and infinite mirrors, the reflections of light move. It's how they release electrons back. It's a mirror. Like, it's not like if I used it on me, any of what I use on me will come onto you. When you move away from the mirror, right, my image comes in the mirror.
It was very interesting because afterwards I told you that I could feel during the beginning of this session that we did when you placed the discs on me, I could feel my cells communicating to me that they were resisting. And I had to coax them to be receptive to this healing practice, which is really interesting considering what you just said about the mirror. And I think it was an unfamiliar feeling to receive healing in that way. But I was able to be present in it and allow myself to receive it. My heart rate variability was 20% higher today than usual. Wow. The day after that healing.
What was it at now, 90 or what was it?
It was 81 today.
Very good. And you were below even the 60s before.
Yeah, I'm in my luteal phase.
Yeah, so why don't you explain to the viewers what HRV is?
Heart rate variability, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding of heart rate variability is a measure of longevity, or it can represent longevity, but it's basically your heartbeat has a certain amount of time between one beat to the next to the next. And if your heartbeats are exactly 1 second apart, and it's always exactly 1 second apart, that's not necessarily good because you want your heart to be adaptable. You want the variability of time between each beat to be high because my understanding is that indicates that you are resilient to stressors.
Exactly. So basically, on another way of explaining it is how your body moves through flight and fight mechanism. So when you are in flight, your heart should be pumping hard. And when you are when you're, you know what I mean, when you're relaxed, you should be pumping very relaxed. And when you're in flight or fight, you should be pumping hard. And that change is you're showing that you can chill or you can get to war. And so heart rate variability shows that, but that's great because it shows that you are coming out of stress and you're picking up when you need to. And another thing why heart rate is such an amazing factor in health is all beings have the same amount of heartbeats. One lifespan has the same average heartbeat. So a tortoise or a turtle that's living to 200 years versus something living to 100 years, it means that that heart which is living to 200 years is beating at half the speed of the one that's living for 100, which is beating at half the speed of one that's living at 50, 25, 12. So if something is dying, let's say a mosquito dies in 4 days, the heart is beating very fast. So as low as your heart can beat, that's how much longevity you have.
Mm. That's
And this is so when we do this healing stuff, and it could sound to you like, wow, he's spoken a lot of scientific, maybe mumbo jumbo, or make sense, whatever. That's your perception. But you can't deny her
the Whoop band.
The Woo band, and which
and
you got
the Aura ring.
On the Aura ring. Both of them said, right, you're doing good, girl.
Yeah.
Right. And we didn't have to touch her. We didn't have to poke needles into her. We didn't have to talk for 24 hours and make judgments. We just let the body look at itself and align.
Yeah. It was a really amazing experience.
Yeah. And thank you for being open to it. Thank you for sharing it. So basically, you'd asked about Biogetica.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can finally talk about Biogetica.
Okay. Great. So I'm not the company anymore. Now we talk about the company.
It's us. It's Biogetica is not my company. It's our company, if it's a company at all. But it's actually a collective. And the collective is of people that want to heal, which is everybody, and want options not for themselves alone, but for their friends and family. It is those options come under the sky of evidence. See, because there's a lot of stuff where evidence is hidden or doesn't even exist.
Or is created intentionally in a certain way.
Well, even this evidence was created. Someone studied this plant for that problem to understand it. But Biogetica is saying, look, we don't say this medicine is good, that medicine is bad. We don't say we are only natural or we are only pharma or we believe in this. We believe in what works, right? We believe in what works. We're willing to prove and have proven that this works, right? We're willing to keep logic and science the greatest opportunity. We are willing to give humanity, right? Biogetic is humanity. Like, we don't turn people away from getting medicine. Why? Because the earth sprouted them. You deserve them. You don't deserve to live in pain. And it's taking whatever in that vast ocean of medicine, of herbs. Like, we look at herbs from Asia, we look at herbs from the Amazon, we look at Chinese herbs, we look at Indian herbs, we look at nutraceuticals, which all comes from Western medicine. We look at vibrational therapies. We look at every possible thing, right? And if it helps, we help bring it to you. And when we bring whatever it is we bring to you, is a complete picture, because you're as much matter, physical body, as much an energy body, as much an informational body, the software of life. So we bring that to you, designed for a certain health interest, let's say immunity, or a certain health, let me phrase this correctly, a certain health interest or a certain health concern, right? And we bring that to you in a very scientifically verifiable way, because in most of our protocols we have a trial. You'll consistently see that the way we work, which is across mind, body, spirit, is more effective than working only on spirit or only on body or only on mind, which is what all of medicine seems to be doing, is they take one modality and they say all life is going to fix with this. Biogetica weaves them together into totality and hands it to you on a easy to digest silver spoon. It's just a question of saying, yes, I want it. And there's no reason you should not want it, because you shouldn't say, I don't believe in it. Look at the research. You shouldn't say, I can't afford it, because look, we'll just give it to you for $5 instead of 50, right? And you shouldn't say, I'm not ready to heal, because that is what 90% of the world is identifying with and creating their own mental blocks.
Well, and that goes back to the imprisonment with walls. And when I say people are afraid to let these walls down, it's the same concept as not being ready to heal. And that also relates to identity, because so many people have their identity tied to their ailments.
Exactly. That's when it gets more scary. Like the minute someone says my whatever ailment, my trigeminal neuralgia, which is one someone else says I am, and sometimes this is, and we're going to separate the two. I'm going to take full responsibility, no matter how much compassion I get from other people because of it. I have the compassion. I have more compassion for myself to get myself out of it. I have more courage. I have more wisdom, right? I am truly done, because right now people are bringing me attention because of my pain. They're going to bring me attention because I'm going to get rid of all our pain, right? And if you're willing to take that leap, it's all already done.
I'm always ready to take a leap
Come
of
on,
healing.
I'm going to throw you out the window. That's why. Put off the cameras.
You're going to throw me out the window?
Yeah.
Turn out the cameras?
Yeah.
I'm not ready to be jumping out of a second-story window.
Okay, we'll go down one floor. We go to the ground floor and jump out of the window together. I'll also jump. Don't worry. I won't make you do any leap. There won't be any cliff that I won't jump off with you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think this is really helpful. There were so many times throughout my journey that looking back, I'm so proud of myself for not giving up.
Yeah.
And I know there are other people who struggle and they get caught in this mental loop, believing that this is happening to them or believing that this is just part of their life. Yeah. And it's really empowering to choose.
And as of now, you have no disease. I want you to say to yourself, do you have any disease left?
I don't.
We've not even known each other 24 hours.
I know. I know that I don't. I know that I am the healthiest I've ever been in my life. And I know that I will continue to get more aligned and more empowered. I will let go of more. I will be more present.
You're done. It's all done. What's left to do? Nothing. Have fun.
Continue practicing it.
Yeah. You know what?
Because it's a practice. I forget sometimes.
Celebration is my religion. Love is my message. Silence is my truth.
Can you tell me more about silence being your truth? What does that mean?
The Tao that is cannot be spoken. The ultimate truth is silence.
I'm going to be honest, I don't quite understand that.
If we can't put our mind around it, then it's silence. And silence is the potential for all music, all words.
So silence is potential for sound? That's how you view it?
And silence is the ultimate field of creativity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay.
We'll see you next time.
I'm so happy, man. Look, we did this.
I'm so happy we did this.
Yeah, and we're feeling happy too. I'm feeling great. And
this is really cool.
We shared it with ourselves.
Yeah.
So let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going.